liked a few, and we'll just see how far we get.
Okay, I screenshotted a few. I wonder if any of them overlap.
I don't know. Like, the thread I found was probably the only thread I found, like, actually searching, but we'll see.
I mean, if they're not funny, it's okay. I just thought because these are like cancelable opinions that we could discuss them.
Yeah, I thought some of them were interesting, and some of them brought up other things. Like,
Yeah. I tried to
valid.
stay away from the ones that were a little too, like, could probably lead to trouble. But there were some that I had screenshotted, and I was just like, huh, interesting.
Interesting.
Interesting. But before we start, we should do our introduction, and then we should talk about BB Go.
Oh,
did you
yeah.
did you
I
eat
totally
this?
did.
Did you eat it?
Yeah, I made it last night.
Nice. Perfect.
I'll tell you now, before
Okay.
we get into our intro. It was
Okay.
okay.
It was okay. What?
Yeah, it was just okay. Like, the sauce is really good. I would say, like, both of the sauces are good. Why don't you guys just sell the sauce? But, like, the chicken, it just doesn't taste, obviously it's not going to taste like the chicken that you would, like, get fresh from
Yeah.
the restaurants. But still, I'm just going to have to figure it out. I'm going to have to, like, make it from scratch. I think the next time I'm in the city, I'm going to try going to the Asian market again and see if they have frying flour in a Korean brand, and then just try
Did
that
you
way.
do it oven style or air fryer?
Oh, definitely fryer. Like, they
See,
got crispy, but it just wasn't like,
I mean, it's frozen chicken, so I
I
can
know,
see.
exactly. So it's not like I was having high expectations anyway,
Yeah.
because it's frozen chicken.
I did think for frozen chicken when we had it. I told you the story and didn't catch in the episode, but I thought for frozen chicken that it was actually pretty good because, like I said, my mom used to make a lot of like the Chinese versions of those, like buy the frozen chicken and have the sauce packets in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it always left a really bad aftertaste in my mouth.
Really?
Yeah, and just didn't taste good. And she would do it as a quick dinner whenever I was busy with school. And she would have to make dinner, but I wouldn't be home until later, so that way she'd have like food that was just not as time consuming to make.
Mm-hmm.
And I never liked it. Like whenever she was like, "Oh, we're having this," I was just like, "I don't want to
That was a
eat."
meal where you're just like,
Yeah, but these were really good, and I don't know if it was the sauce that helped kind of make it better, but I thought they were good. And the sauces definitely did it. Like the chicken, it's frozen chicken. It's not great, but overall in comparison to other frozen chicken meals that I've eaten where it comes in like the sauce packet like or
mm.
with the sauce packet like that, I thought these were better quality.
Oh, I can agree with that. I just, yeah, like, they weren't bad. If I was lazy and I was, like, living by myself, I definitely eat it more often, but
Yeah.
it's just not something I would want us to have a lot all the time. Mom and Dad liked it. They're like, it was good. And I was like,
Oh,
thanks, I didn't do anything.
I did.
Just put it in the air fryer. And that was it. But
I'm glad they liked it though, because I also recommended it to my mom because it's only her and my brother now,
yeah.
and she's like, I don't know what to cook. Like we don't eat that much anymore, so she's doing a lot of more frozen meals like that. And I told her because I know they like orange chicken. I was like, get the spicy one because Brandon won't like the garlic. But I was like, get the spicy one. It's actually not that spicy, and you'd probably like it.
Yeah, Mom's picky, so I was surprised she's not like she's just picky. I don't know. So she was like, I ate all mine, and I was like, okay, that's what I like to hear.
I'm proud of you. Your excuse from the dinner table.
Right? That's
You can
literally how it is.
you can have your dessert now.
That's literally the dynamic in this household. Summed up. But this is Bingu and Choom and K-pop tunes. And I'm Bingu, also known as Lacey.
And I'm Choom, also known as Reina.
Today, we're canceling each other.
Each
over
other?
K-pop takes. We're canceling everybody, all of us. We're canceling each other. Yeah, we are. That's right. We're going into your tweets and seeing what you think you would get canceled for based off K-pop opinions.
That was a good introduction. So for some backstory though, I was on Twitter one day last week and I saw that there was a trend going around, and it wasn't just for K-pop, it was for like in general. People were making it based on their fandoms, but obviously since my Twitter feed is K-pop, this one popped up and I was like, huh, and I just started reading them and I was like, this might make an interesting episode. So there was a trend going around for the listeners called "We're canceling each other over our K-pop takes today. Post your cancelable K-pop take." And I was just reading the retweets and we've compiled a few to discuss.
Yeah. I think yours might be more funny than mine. I don't know. I just feel like I was reading through them and I was like, y'all, it's not that deep.
That's how a lot of them came. I couldn't find the funny ones that I was really
Me neither.
really seeing at the start, but some of these are like ironically funny, mainly for the reason like Lacey said, it's not that deep.
Like it's not.
Like some of them I was laughing over because I was just like, man, you guys,
like it's that serious.
go touch some grass, breathe in the fresh air.
Or some of them just like brought up different, I feel like, are cancelable topics, I guess. Or like some of them like just, I'm like, oh, if we're talking about canceling each other over K-pop stuff, some of it popped in my head, but we'll see based off like, you know, what we read off and see how far we go, because we're not trying to do 2 hours of this.
No. I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You took a lot.
I took 12. Well, because I was gonna forget them. I took 12 screenshots, but some of them, looking back, I'm like, we don't really have to discuss them.
I dwindled down to 6.
You dwindled it down to Swix. To
Swix. Yeah, but I don't think I would have to like read them all. So I guess what we can do is that we can read the tweet and see how we both feel.
Okay. And just discuss it from there.
Yeah. And we can just go back and forth and just look at the time.
Okay. And I'm assuming maybe 1 or 2 of them might overlap. We'll see if we chose ones that were similar.
I'll be very surprised. Just based off how the internet works, I would be very surprised if we ended up liking the same things.
True. It also depends on when you went through the thread, because I went through it that day that I sent it.
Like, you were in the trenches of when it was happening. I'm trying to go back through archives, so that's why I feel like it might be different, because it's so different trying to search than. And then you said, like, you follow a lot more K-pop stuff, so I'm sure those topics are readily available to you based off the algorithm compared to like my sad algorithm. I should just follow a bunch of K-pop stuff on my other account.
Just start looking. You don't even need to follow it. Just start looking some of it up in the searches, and Twitter will start recommending things to you.
I'm literally gonna go to your profile and just be like, go through your likes and your.
You're gonna get all Monster X recommended to you.
I already do, and that's fine. I'm not mad.
You're not gonna get any more content. You're just gonna get all Monster X.
You had yours is like Monster X, and like I didn't pay attention to hashtags. It's somebody else. It's another group in there.
Occasionally, very occasionally. Other groups pop in occasionally, but it's majority Monster X.
I mean, that's all I know I'm gonna see because of their comeback. But do you want to go first?
I can. You think
I don't? Because it's your idea.
It's my. Dang, I don't know which one I want to start with though.
You should start with the third one.
The third one?
I don't know what that is.
I don't either. Let's find out. Oh, this might actually be okay. So. The tweet was, K-pop was more cutting edge 10 years ago when they had less budget. Now money replaces creativity.
Ooh. You know what?
They're not wrong.
They're not wrong. Like if you're really thinking about it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about
How
I
pretty things can
yeah.
look now. I remember when K-pop used to have, like, they said creativity. I remember when K-pop used to have, like,
It was
storylines
all the time.
and, like, yeah, there were some music videos where you just danced in the room, like, SM was really popular for just dancing in the room, but you had music videos that actually had, like, storylines sometimes and were actually, like, music videos,
Hmm.
and you don't get that anymore, and
You
some
don't
of the
really get
music.
that in general.
No, not yeah, in general, in any music really anymore. And some
That's
music
so
videos,
sad.
it is. I do feel like some music videos, there are some people that try to have the creativity and do like storylines, but I feel like a lot of them sometimes get confused where their storyline is going because they're trying to do this giant long arc thing, universe thing, and you get all these fandom theories and then you just get lost, and then I think the producers and like the company get lost as well with what
So they
their
just let it
original
go.
concept was. Yeah, so they just let it go.
I think that I preferred all the videos that just didn't make sense, but were fun. Like the storyline didn't make sense, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Because we got that often. Or it was like the typical going after the girl or fantasizing about the guy and like spying on him and doing cute stuff to be like, I like you, and like he's just oblivious. Or just, I don't know. Like in general, I wish people just made fun storylines just because. I don't need it to follow the brand. I
And it
just,
doesn't need to have like a plot either. Like
no.
it can just be a nonsensical music video where we're not watching them
Hmm.
dance.
But I guess when it's just how things are now, because I'm trying to think of really how it kind of broke off. Because whenever fandoms always talk about, the strength of dancing from groups, I think that's when it kind of just went towards talent or focusing on just the talent aspect of groups and what they can do.
Yeah.
That where that's the reason why we don't really see that much
Fun.
creativity with storylines anymore.
I can
Eh,
see how that, yeah.
So it's just but you have to remember it's like with fashion, it'll come back
It'll be
around.
nice when it does, but we'll
Me too.
probably
I'm excited to
I
bring
am
it
too.
right
I'll
back.
probably that actually might be good because I was gonna say probably by the time it comes back around, I might have kids by then, but then I can have the kids watch the music videos, so I guess it'll work out.
Listen, just in general, I always think about you remember how Missy Elliott's and like Timberland's music videos were just so different and they were wild. They didn't make any sense, but they were really
To
cool.
watch, yeah.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
want,
Like you didn't know what you were watching, but it
but
was
it was
still yeah.
cool. And it wasn't, they weren't ever doing the same thing anyone else was. Even if it didn't have a storyline, they were still just trying to, the motivation was always trying to go to that next level or to just reach a different aspect of music that was ahead of its time. So it'll come back. It's just not now. And we have to be patient, just like with fashion. Like if the brown and pink and came back, y'all, it's gonna come back. The brown, pink, and the brown and the blue together. I will never live it down. It is crazy to me how that's popular right now. But okay. I'll read
Just gotta give it time. But yes, you can. Your
time.
turn.
Once it happens, you'll know here first. I guess. Okay. This tweet says the rap portions in some K-pop songs make the songs worse, and some songs are better off without them. I gotta say, I can agree.
I can agree too.
And it's not to say that the rappers can't rap. It just doesn't make sense to
Yeah,
have
in
it
the
in the
song.
song.
Yeah, it's definitely not an instance of the rapper's not good, the rapper can't rap. It's more of a like it felt like the company or whoever produced the song was just like, oh
Oh,
no,
oh crap.
I forgot to put the rap in. And they like force a rap into a
That's
random
exactly what
part
it sounds like
of the
every
song.
time.
They just like shove it in. They're like, this has to go here.
This is, oh man, let me just
Or
write a
like,
couple
oh
verses real
crap,
quick.
this member doesn't have any lines. Make up a rap really quick. That's what
It
it
doesn't
sounds like.
work. It doesn't work. We should just have more than one video every comeback where, you have a good song that includes both, and then you have one that's just singing, and then you have another one that's rapping. So just come out with 3 videos. It's
Well,
okay.
and like a lot of the idols are trained for singing as well. Like they're trained to be all arounders. Like even the rappers, I'm pretty sure they could sing to an extent.
Hmm.
So just give them, even if it's like a title song and you're like, oh, I forgot the rap, rather than forcing a rap into a song and not, it doesn't belong, just give the rapper a couple of lines and then on the B sides, fix the issue and put a good rap portion in a decent song. Like, just do that instead.
Like I said, like I'm still getting back into the trenches of K-pop, but seeing that tweet, I'm just like, oh, it's still a thing. Like this is
Yes,
still a thing.
it is still a thing. Very much
I
so.
remember there were a lot of moments where we would always be like, why?
Yeah. Because it'd be
Like
like
that
the
wasn't
song is good, it's
it.
got momentum, and then all of a sudden it just stops and it does like a
It
360 and it's a
does a
rap
30-second rap, and
that
you're just
doesn't
like,
even flow. And you're like, why
why
is
did you
this
do that?
here?
Okay.
So yeah, another one we agree with. But actually, you using that tweet reminds me of another one that I screenshotted. So I'm gonna do that one because it leads into the same kind of topic.
Okay, what is that?
K-pop rappers can't rap.
That's debatable, but I know where you're going with that.
I didn't get angry when I saw that, but I definitely, this was one where I was like, okay, because like you said,
I
it's debatable. There are definitely some K-pop rappers that can't rap, but there are definitely rappers that can't rap.
and
And
like, what do you mean by that? That's what I want to know more from like the tweet. Like, in what sense do you think that they can't rap? Like, are you expecting them to, be write lyrics to that extent and freestyle and all that? Because a lot of rappers cannot do that.
even like rappers, like
No, I'm
American
saying
rappers. No,
like
I know that.
as a
Or are you,
whole.
I'm not the one that,
Oh
are
no,
you,
I'm just
you're
saying
aiming
like,
it at the person, right?
oh yeah. I mean,
Okay.
like as a whole, a lot of the rappers that you know of, they don't do that. Like some of them don't even write their lyrics.
And a lot of them can't freestyle.
No,
So is that like what
no,
the expectation of? Because for me, when I think rap and what makes a good rapper, for me, it's like their cadence and their flow when they're
right.
rapping. And like immediately, what comes to mind, obviously, Juhan, Zico, because they know how to control like their flow and their cadence when they're rapping. And I've seen Juhan, not only is he one of in the list of one of the top like fastest rappers, but fast doesn't mean you're a good rapper. Fast doesn't make rap. But like not only is he in the list for being the fastest, but I've heard him over the years do different styles of rap that you're just like, "Oh, this doesn't sound like his last one."
But you can
And
tell that he can just based off what he does.
yeah. Yeah,
Like
so
he
he
doesn't just rap, but he also writes. Like he produces. So it's pretty. I don't know. It's very clear to me that he knows what he's doing.
yes. So, but that's just like when I saw them say like K-pop rappers can't rap, I was like thinking, and Juhan came to mind first because, like I said, for me, rap, what makes a good rap is your cadence and your flow, not how fast you are, not whether you write lyrics, produce, can freestyle. And so I
Hmm.
immediately thought of Juhan because I'm like, he's very well rounded as a rapper and can do different styles.
I can agree with that.
And
Like the least you can do is have a flow.
yeah, make it sound good.
Yeah,
So
that's the
like
least you can do.
So, like, I'm also curious, this person, like, do you think K-pop rapping is like, what is it to you?
Like in general.
Yeah, in general, why can K-pop rappers not rap to you? Are you just not
Like,
listening?
can you list some? I want to know.
Yeah, I want to know who you think's not a good
Not
rapper,
to.
so I can.
I want to know. Like, tell me. Don't be shy. I want to.
But no,
Who
that one
are
is
you talking about?
debatable because there's definitely rappers that can't rap, and there's definitely a mindset in K-pop, I think, that ties into if you rap fast, you're good. That is not
Oh
true.
yeah, I can see. Yeah, and
that
that's not.
that's a common
Mm-mm.
mindset in K-pop. If you rap fast, you're good. That's not a thing. That's not the case. And so when I saw that tweet, I was like, this is a very debatable tweet depending on who you're talking to.
I think it's funny that if you can rap fast, that means you're automatically good. No,
Yeah, no.
that's not
That's
it.
not it.
Um, but I will stand on the hill of like Zello being the fastest rapper
Yes.
I've ever
Yeah.
heard in K-pop. Because in American, for me, it's like Zello is on the same level as oh man, what is his name?
I do want to say though, since Zello doesn't promote as much anymore, I don't think he's on the list anymore of being
Oh
like
no,
the fastest.
unfortunately,
I think it's actually Changbin from Stray
I would like
Kids.
to hear more from him. Then I'm not saying like he's the only one ever
Yeah,
to
no.
ever do it, but that's always who I think about.
When you think, yeah. I remember when we all first heard him when he came out, we were like,
Yeah. What?
"What?"
What do you say?
But like we said, fast doesn't always mean good. Zello happens
No.
to be fast and good,
And
but
good.
fast does not always mean good.
And I think you could tell when someone's like really serious about rap just based off what they do outside of the group, I feel. Because if you weren't caring, like if you weren't in the rap like that, I want to make mixtapes or like singles in my free time. And the people like I know that can rap, they do that. Like they do those things.
Yeah.
My Apple Music's being trash, so I'm going to the internet. That's what I'm doing on my laptop. Twista. There we go. Man.
Oh, yeah.
Like I feel like they were on the same level. I hope Twista's doing good. I hope he's okay. They did a Where Are They Now? I hope he's okay. Cause but Twista can rap fast. I still can't sing or rap any of his lyrics
Lyrics.
every time. It's too fast. Same with Zello. No. I'll leave it up. I'll just have a good time. I guess I'll go next. So someone said, I've said it over and over again, but some of y'all have mean girl syndrome, where y'all feel the need to constantly be nasty for likes and retweets because y'all aren't getting that attention anywhere else but twitter.com. And it's really sad. She was saying this in response of, K-pop. And while I'm not like in the trenches of the K-pop tweets, I do find that a lot of people are mean for no reason.
Just to be mean, yeah.
Just to be mean. A lot of the tweets can be very nasty. And I'm like, where did this come from? Like, you're saying it just to get a rise out of people.
Yeah. And to get attention and to get
Right.
people to look at your Twitter and your tweets that you make. Like, that's just.
About the K-pop groups. And it's just music. Like, you can be passionate about stuff, but you shouldn't have to bash other groups to that extent.
No. There's no reason to.
Or to even bash.
Share your opinion and bring somebody down in the process.
Right.
Like
that's
you don't need to do that. Yeah, that's just being mean for no reason at all.
I've seen that a lot. I've read, there have been plenty of times where I would read a little bit of stuff. And I'm like, y'all are mean. That is mean.
It is mean. That's why I stay in my like little sphere of
exactly
things. And I'm definitely more involved in the Twitter side of K-pop than you are, but I, for the most part, just stay in my little sphere right on the very tip, because I know if I go any deeper, I'm gonna start getting to those places where like the meanness is at,
And then you're
and
gonna feel like you gotta defend.
yeah, and I don't want to do that. Like
No,
I want K-pop to be enjoyable, and it is enjoyable to me. There's definitely moments where I've heard or seen things that have stressed me out, but for the most part, I try and keep it, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. Like
exactly, exactly.
I
I'm the
just
same
enjoy
way.
it, and I want
Hmm.
to enjoy it because it is an outlet for me.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't like, while I'm on the internet a lot, I don't, because we're human beings, it's really easy to have an opinion based off what you read, or like start to agree with that opinion because of either that moment or like the popularity of what you're reading. So I always try to have my own opinion. And if I'm starting to like read something that has people very heated or passionate about that topic, I kind of read it and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just here for a good time. I'm gonna let you guys do that. But I'm leaving. I'm leaving the discussion because I know for me, I will start getting upset when I don't need to get upset.
Yeah, that's how that I've run into moments like that where somebody has said something about a group I like, or like Kingdom, the show, and
Hmm.
Road to Kingdom. Road to Kingdom actually was better, but Kingdom and Mnet and their editing style, that stressed me out so much. And I think it reached like the third episode where I just told a friend who was kind of also actively watching it, I was like, I just can't do this anymore. I'm not going to watch it anymore because what happened and what was being said by people got, like, upset me. And I was like, that's not what
Yeah,
I'm watching it for. I'm just going to step away. Whoever wins, good on them. I'm not involved in this anymore.
that's happened to me too. Don't feel like, I mean, that's happened to me before, where I've lost interest in something just based off interactions I've read, and I'm like, I wish I never did that because I felt like I was having a good time until
Until this
y'all
happened.
started taking it personally. So that was a tweet. I thought it was. I mean, it needs to be said, and that's just like the internet in general. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a mean contest, guys.
No.
You can be nice or say it respectfully without
Yeah.
even dragging anybody else into it.
Or dragging the group into it and their success. Like, that's not necessary
It's
either.
just not how you do it.
No, like, you're just
No.
making yourself look worse, in all honesty.
And they love it. They love it. They
I,
do.
I
Like
know
they
they
brag about
do,
it.
but I
Like,
don't. Go
girl,
touch grass. Go get therapy.
in real life, look
Yeah.
around. That's all I ask you to do is, in real life, look around.
Look around. This actually leads into another one that I chose really well.
Oh, that's good.
So
I
the tweet,
guess. I guess it's okay.
debatable. So the tweet says, "Some of you treat K-pop like a 9 to 5 job, and it's just very, very odd to me when you try to enforce that on other people."
I agree.
And this goes back to the look around, go touch some grass.
You can be, you can, like, I don't ever,
You can be passionate about
no,
something
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm
without
not
it
gonna talk
consuming you.
to, I'm not gonna, like, judge people based off the extent that they love K-pop, but it's when you start being mean towards other people or judging other people based off the time
That you
that
put into.
they've spent into it. That's like you being mad at me because I haven't been with Monsta X since the beginning, and that you feel more entitled to a bias than, like, if I like the same bias as you do, and then you're just like, you don't deserve that because I've been here since day one. And that's what the attitude that some people can have.
Yeah, no, I know. And well, that's also, I said the same thing as you but opposite. So like you can't get mad at someone for not basically committing as much time as you do into something that you like. Like not everybody has the same amount of free time. Not everybody has well, literally just that, the same amount of free time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're, and you can also like something without it consuming you to the point where you need to push it onto other people, the expectations that you've placed on yourself, like streaming, for example. A lot of people treat that as a 9 to 5 job as well, and
They
it's just like,
really do, and that is where you always lost me. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, y'all go ahead and
and
make those accounts and stream.
it takes away from the quality of the music as well. Like, you're here to enjoy the music
Yeah.
and to enjoy the groups and their interactions with
Mm-hmm.
fans, but it's not all about the streaming. So, like, okay, if you're someone that streams a lot, cool, good on you. But like, I before I got this job that I have, I used to work like anywhere from 8, if I was lucky, to 11 hours a day. I don't have time to stream. I might love the group. I buy a bunch of albums. I do group orders and buy a bunch of albums. But I don't have time to sit on my computer and stream. Like, that's, some people
You
don't.
only did that when you were in school.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That was like the only time I remember you. You weren't. I don't know. You would always talk about streaming. I'll post like reminders to stream,
Wait, I
but
post
like,
reminders for voting, not streaming.
oh yeah, it was
For
voting.
voting.
See, those things are like the same for me.
Oh, no. Streaming adds to the votes, but I was the one that posted the reminders for the voting because I would be up at like 2 or 3 a.m.
You
when the show is
would.
going
I was
on. And
like, no,
so
girl.
voting back when like we were really into it, they didn't have all these restrictions, and you, even if you had an American number, you could text in like, this is my vote. And so I would post, and now they had like a bunch of apps that you can get on and you can collect to voting passes to vote. I used to do reminders for voting for like
Okay, that's what it was.
for three
See,
groups, but I never had time to stream because stream requires you sit at your computer and stream the song and not have anything else open. Like, it tracks
I
whether
no.
it
Just
tracks whether it's like a background activity or if you're actively listening.
that's
And
so
then
crazy.
you can't
But
just stream the song on repeat, like one after another. You have to listen to a certain allotted amount of other songs
dang.
for the stream to count. Like, I don't have time to look up all the logistics of that
I guarantee they did that
and
because
do
of
that.
BTS. Probably even before that, but I know they had
Well,
to strengthen that
there was
even.
always streaming before that. Like, that was always
Oh
a
no, I'm
thing.
sorry. I understand that, but I'm saying
And
like
there was always a streaming culture before that, but it was never to the intensity that it
that it
is
is now.
now.
Yeah, it seems very intense now. So I
It
get
is.
why they got all these rules now. Because if there wasn't any rules, you know how many awards one group would just get or win? Like that's not even fair.
Yeah, no. It's just remember that people don't have time to stream. People don't have time to commit as much as you do. Like, it's not a
It's
job.
gonna be all right. It's gonna be
K-pop's
all
not
right.
a job. It should be something that you enjoy
Mm-hmm.
cuz it's music. At the end of the day, it's music.
That was beautiful. I mean, that's what we live by, though. That's what me and you always live by. It's
Yeah.
literally music, and it
Yeah.
makes us happy.
Yeah. And like, I'll vote, like if Monsta X with their comeback coming up, I'll get on and I'll vote,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not gonna kill myself over the voting period, and I'm not gonna kill myself over the streaming.
Or you're not gonna get mad at anybody for not doing that. Like, don't
Yeah.
get mad at me if I don't know your bias's favorite snack or any group member. Like, don't come to me.
How could you
Don't.
not know that Juhan likes dumplings,
How
Lacey?
come you didn't remember this one moment that happened in this one episode, or when they were first? You didn't even know that they did that V Live, and you just didn't. I'm sorry. I don't know. Like, don't get mad at people for stuff like that. Like, it's okay to just be glad that there's another fan. It's gonna be okay. But you saying the streaming thing, I have one. I have a tweet based off that.
Half of that, there were quite a few actually in that thread. I'm not surprised.
Let me see if I have.
Let's hear it.
There's two that actually correlate with each other based off what you
You can
talked
just read them
about.
both then.
Okay. So the first one is, you know, you've lost an argument when you have to bring up streams because trust me, no one initially stands an artist for how many numbers they're pulling. And then the next one says, normalize not winning on music shows because it literally has nothing to do with the quality of the song. If you have a big fan base, then you win. If not, you don't. That's it.
I actually chose both of those as well.
Really?
Yeah, I
Oh,
screenshotted them and I chose those two because they were right under each other as well. And I was like, man, these people,
cool. Good points.
good points. Yes.
And with
You
the first one, like, I think, and then there's another tweet that correlates with the big fan base, or like just both of them. But those streams don't mean anything. Like, if you really think about it, when it comes to earning money, those streams don't really do a lot.
it's the album sales.
It's album sales, it's
Like
concert sales, it's those fan meetups.
that's
Like,
how they get their money. And that's why video calls I think have blown up and still keep going after COVID. I mean, I know COVID's not like over quote,
mhm,
but now that it's gotten to the point where they're doing things in person again, I think companies realize, and we had actually, I think you and I had talked about this really early on. Like, I personally, as an international fan, hope they keep doing video calls because
mhm.
one, it allows international fans to interact because we would never be able to go to a fan sign otherwise. And two, it helps with the album sales. Like, it helps keep groups afloat. And I think companies actually realize, like, wow, people are buying more albums because we're doing video calls and fan signs. And then there's regular people that aren't doing either of those things that just want the album, that are buying the albums.
We did talk about it, and I was just saying I don't think they ever will because that's money. Like, from a business standpoint, I don't think I would ever get rid of that,
Yeah. And I
and I
thought,
would probably allow as much as the idols can handle. I would try to allow more
yeah.
for more income because that's big. Like, you just open the door for the rest of the world. Like, you don't have to, because this is another take I had when I was reading tweets. Um, Outside of like South Korea and Japan, y'all, don't get your hopes up thinking like they're really about to cater to everybody, because it's just not feasible from a business standpoint. I'm gonna put most of my money where it counts and what matters. And I feel like I'm not sure how to describe this other than when it comes to anime. So when people complain about certain things in anime, especially with Shonen Jump, because that's a big deal, um, y'all, they care about the people in Japan and how those numbers are going, because that's just where it is. Like, they're not going to be super, like, a lot of these people are not going to be super aware of what's happening, like, all over the world, and how to cater more towards people in the United States and what their sensitivities are, because they don't have the bandwidth to do that for every country. They're going to do it to the ones that are important. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
And I don't want people to be butthurt about it, but to be aware of that. So, like, when it comes to like concerts and tours, that is a big feat, because it's taken a long time for them to even come to like Mexico, the United States, European countries, everywhere else. Like, that's still very, very new.
Because there has to be the fan base, the money. There has to be the money there.
Exactly.
Not
So,
even the
like,
fan base, there has to be the money there. So yes, there
exactly.
has to be the fan base for the money, but they have to know that if they're going to do a concert in one of these countries, that it's
It's
going
gonna.
to sell well. Not even just
Mm-hmm.
sell out, but sell well.
Mm-hmm.
And so
But like,
just thinking about the money aspect of things, cuz K-pop, yeah, it's music, and that's like you said, what we live by. It's music, you should enjoy it.
but you got to put
But
on
it's
that business
also
cap
but it's
when you think
also
about something.
business. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
also business, and they need to figure out how do they market their group to get sales.
And
And
that's just
streams
work.
don't have anything to do with that.
Mm-mm, it doesn't.
Streams, I will admit, do help the K-pop groups basically stay afloat to an extent, because their company will look at it and say like, oh, they're being received well, they're getting this many streams, they're this
It keeps
popular.
them relevant.
Yeah, it keeps them relevant, and it kind of tells their company whether like their money is being used
Mm-hmm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
But streams, they don't you pay for the streaming service, but that payment to the streaming service goes to whoever the streaming service is. So like I
Yeah.
use Spotify, I'm paying Spotify. I'm not paying.
That money is barely going
Yeah, it's not
back.
it's not adding anything to, so streams in the long run don't really mean
It's
anything.
literally the equivalent of Instagram. It's analytics, guys.
And
I
so yeah,
think the most important thing is getting those analytics and seeing how that's doing and seeing like that's it. Like that's the most important thing is what you said, to make sure that they're relevant, that they're pulling in the right audience. That's analytics. That's what it is.
and I mean it helps, like you said, them stay relevant, and so it helps, like winning on music shows also helps for that, going back to that, the two tweets that you read off. But
Mm-hmm.
in the end, it shouldn't just be about those things. The streams and the music
No.
show wins, because that's not what's going to help your group stay around in the long run. It's whether or
Uh-uh.
not you're buying concert tickets, you're buying merch for their fan con, or you're buying their albums. Like that's what helps them.
Mm. Well, I'm so glad we had the same two. Look at that. We had the same
Yeah,
two,
I
like you
told you. I was
said.
like, I
I
feel
was
like something's gonna
scared.
pop up. I was like, I feel like something is gotta pop up.
I was still scared. For no reason.
Yep, for no reason at all.
Okay, well, I have two more to read off.
Okay.
How many do you have?
I have two as well. The other ones that I have are kind of like they don't have to be read, but I do have two that I would like to read.
Okay. I mean, I feel like we're doing good.
Yeah.
You can go next.
Okay. The one that I was going to do is companies need to start debuting adults, not fucking kids. Make K-pop sexy again. That one made me laugh.
I saw a lot of tweets like that
Yeah,
saying to stop debuting people like 18 and under.
there's actually another one that ties into it that kind of, I didn't have to read it, but it goes, K-pop stans. Why are they debuting minors? Also K-pop stans. He or she is 30, so it's time to retire. They're hags. Those
I
two kind
just
of go into the same,
it's
like,
just I just feel like everyone can win if you have more variety in ages for groups.
yeah, everybody could listen to it. And like that's the thing that I think about in the end is K-pop is music, like we've said.
Hmm.
In America and other countries, you have singers that are still in their 30s or 40s or 50s. Like you have people, you don't just stop singing when you hit 30 because you get old.
Mm-mm.
Your voice still sounds good if you keep training it. Like
It's
it's
just
music.
it's just crazy to me that whenever people bring up age like that and they're young. I'm like, you're gonna be singing a completely different tune once you hit 25. Once you hit 24, you're gonna be like, oh, I actually haven't changed. I actually like these things still. Like you don't get past 25 and you suddenly develop into what y'all think is old, which is not, and you end up having to shop in the senior section, and then suddenly you just like classic music, and all you want to do is just listen to your classic music with your senior outfit, and suddenly you just don't find anything fun or attractive anymore. Like that's what you guys still think like getting older is, and it's not. It's actually just a number where you are getting older, but you still like the same
Yeah, you
things.
still like the same things. And like our generation, mine and yours, for example, we're not just going to get older and stop liking anime,
Especially
K-pop.
if that's
That's
literally what
like
the
we grew
only
up with.
joy. Like when that's one of the few joys that you have.
And it's also stuff that we grew up with too. Like how do you just
You
phase
just
something like
stop.
that out of your life when it's
Mm-hmm.
become something so prominent in your life. You don't just stop liking it. Like you don't
Mm-mm.
just reach an age where you turn it off and you're like, "Oh, we're done."
And
No.
if you're, and even if, we are older, but it's not like we're even looking at newer groups going like, oh, they are just so attractive and hot and blah, blah, blah. Listen, if you have people that are doing that and they're just older, they're, you, they shouldn't be doing that, first of all, because that's pedophile behavior. But you can still enjoy like the groups and the music and just like they're beautiful people. You can enjoy that. You can enjoy like it's just y'all take it too seriously. Just enjoy the entertainment that's like given to you, and don't age restrict people from music. Like that's so weird.
It's very weird. It's a
It's like
very odd
it is
gatekeeping.
very odd. Like you can't like pop music anymore. You're too old. Well, if I was complaining about pop music, you'd have something to say about it too. Saying that I'm old. Like you see, like it just doesn't.
It's just because it's K-pop. Like I don't know what it is
No,
about
I think it's
K-pop.
age. It's because they're young too.
Yeah, but I don't know what it is about it being them being young and them it being K-pop that people are like, I'm gonna gatekeep this. Like it's not.
So
It's
you're gonna keep gatekeeping until you get older and realize that
you're that person now. Like
yeah, because that's what's gonna happen if you're if you're as passionate about that as you say you are. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about
no, no, I
the
know
people that are saying
that.
that. Like I don't know. I hate it when people are like, "That is so old," and I'm like, "It's not. It
Yeah,
actually isn't
it's
that old."
not. And like to think about it too, like for example, groups that are still doing well and making music and like even Monster X, they're I wouldn't say like in their prime, but they're actually getting more popular now. They're my age. Like
Exactly.
they are literally my age. Are you going to tell them to stop making music because they're too old?
You want me to start telling you that you're too young to listen to them?
So, yeah, you're too young to listen to them. You
You're
can't
too
listen to them.
young. So I'm
Like
gonna
that
need you to stop.
it doesn't
It
make
doesn't.
sense.
Agreed.
Yeah, both of those tweets we agree with that it's weird. Stop gatekeeping people's age and whether or
They
not
can
they can
like
like K-pop.
things.
Yeah, or like things in general. That's weird.
Okay, done. Um, you have to pick one or two.
Two.
Okay. This tweet says K-poppies these days mostly started standing a group while they're at their peak of the popularity. Once it died down, they unstand? Shrug emoji. So you're just joining the hype without really getting into knowing to know the group or what. Make it make sense. So I agree.
I do agree as
Part
well.
um
Partly. I that one's one that's debatable. Like
partly
it's definitely on the fence, but as
because that
some
that it goes into what we were previously discussing about taking things too seriously,
yeah,
but also like I don't know, like don't understand just because it's not like popular anymore. Because
like
this just goes into how social media is and how fast it is and how it's just so fast paced that I just see it from the standpoint of social media where things like get super popular and then just kind of die. And if you're doing that, then these groups cannot be if everyone has that same mindset, then like the groups will never reach the peak or stay where you
relevant.
would like them to
Yeah,
be.
or reach their potential either. They'll never really grow. And for me, just to add in, for me, that's something that's strange because I can definitely say that there are groups whose music I don't really like. Like, I'll listen to the music, but it's not something I frequently seek out. But the group members and their dynamic and their personalities, and maybe like their TV shows if they're on reality shows, I like them.
That's how I feel too.
And so you can, if you're not in it for the music, at least like are you in it to support the members even if you don't like the music or vice versa? Like you don't have to join something for the hype and not like one or the other? Or like how could you not enjoy one or the other? Cuz like I said, there's groups that I don't like the music, but I still like the groups and I think the members are great and I frequently check in on them or watch their things to see how they're doing cuz they're funny or amusing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't like this comeback, but man, you guys are great. I wish the best for you." Like how can you not like one or the other? How can you only join it for the hype? And even if you join it for the hype, not get into one or the other, the music or the members. I don't
I don't know.
that mindset just doesn't make sense to me.
I I don't know. It's just the same. It's like I said, it's the internet. I feel like people just follow the hype train and move on. But I didn't find that really an issue when we were into it, but it seemed like it was. I just thought that tweet was interesting. But it's not to say that we to take K-pop that seriously, but like, don't do it just because of the hype.
Yeah,
Because
don't.
I like, do you even like it? I don't think you do if you're just doing it for the hype.
And that's why I added like how can you do it for the hype and not end
Like, how
up
do you do
liking one or the other, like the members or the music? How
that? Mm-hmm.
why would you end
Why
up
are you
letting
here?
Yeah, why are you here? What if it's not enjoyable in one way or another? Why?
Why are you putting yourself through
That
that?
doesn't make sense.
That's it. Very short.
Okay, then my second one that I was going to read was the tweet says, "A lot of K-pop groups are just dance groups with one member who is just passable as a vocalist."
Ooh, what group? Tell me.
Yeah, what groups do you think that? I don't agree with
Do
that
you agree?
one.
You don't
No,
agree?
I don't agree.
I don't agree
Why would a
either.
company debut someone or
That's what I'm
seek someone out
saying.
and put them through 5 years of training and waste all that money
I'm just
if they can't sing or
just
rap?
that alone. Like, do you guys know how hard it is to even get noticed by those companies?
Yeah. And
You think they're just gonna hire someone that cannot do
do
those
that. And
things?
to say that is also really downplaying a person's effort to go through all of that training. Like you're basically just saying like,
They
"Oh,
can all sing
you did 5 years of training, whatever." Like
just to look pretty.
yeah, just so you're like downplaying all the hard work that they did and the effort that they put in. And
Girl, this is not the
back
United States of America
back
where people.
when yeah, where people trend on TikTok and end up getting a singing career.
Or just look good. They literally are just people know that they're gonna make sales just because they look
They
good.
look good, yeah. No, and I think it's unfair to say that about idols because
Mm-mm.
the company would not waste their money to debut someone or put someone through training if they didn't have the talent. And it's just rude to say that about somebody's dreams and the hard work and effort that they put in.
They
And
won the challenge.
yeah, they
They won
won.
the trending
They're
Twitter
the they
challenge
got
thing.
there. They're
They
the
got
one
that
that got
canceled.
there. So I don't know. It's just a weird.
Oh no, I'm saying like that tweet. Like they
Oh
won the
yeah,
challenge.
they won the challenge.
The trending cancelable. Like they
You
won.
won. You won. You had the most.
Cause that's the only time I ever see that being debatable is when I don't know. Like sometimes I don't know. You can't even say that for solo artists.
No, I don't think you can say that for any artist.
That's what I'm
Honestly, like me,
saying.
maybe to you, someone can't sing as well, or they sing in a style that doesn't
Not everyone
suit
is a
your taste.
Beyonce or like a. I'll put it in Korean like artist terms. Not everyone is like an IU or an Ailey. Like nobody needs to hit crazy vocal ranges like that.
Yeah, no, that
Because if
high
you put
notes.
that rule to United States music, that's not fair.
No, it's
There's a lot of
not.
people that are just gone. You can't,
Yeah, that you can't include in the list at all.
especially. Well, let me not say nowadays because I don't really listen to music nowadays like that. But I could say that a lot of legends that we deem are legends, they are on that level. But nowadays, I don't. I don't think I could say the same thing.
Think there's anybody? No.
I mean, there's some, but it's not enough to have a huge list of. Nah, girl, that ain't it. That ain't it. Like, you won.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah, that was the weirdest.
That's crazy. Like, even if you just don't. No. Mm-mm. Have you watched what they go through?
Yeah, well, that's also what I was gonna say too. And then we went on like a little tangent. Is back when like you and I were really like deep into K-pop in our teenage years. Trainee days and like the training that idols went through, it's not as nice and pretty as it is today. Like
Really? Because it seems like the same.
it seems, well, it does seem the same in some aspects, but it does seem like they kind of figured out like maybe this is a humanitarian issue and we shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
mistreat these people to an extent. Like I will admit some of them still seem really overworked, but it's not as bad as I think it was for like
Before.
Block B, Big Bang.
That was
That
literally every group, though. Even BTS had issues.
yeah. And so I think it's not perfect, but it's a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just reading that made me think about like what a lot of trainees have to go through, not just for the training program, but like what it used to be like back
Like,
when
they, girl,
we
if you
were
can't sing, you would have
teenagers.
never made it past the first cut.
No.
Ever. Ever. Like, you could be the best dancer, but if you can't even sing, mm-mm,
Nope. And if you, not only that, if you don't fix what they tell you to fix by the next evaluation, bye.
you're gone.
You're gone.
So I don't, mm-mm,
So I don't agree with that one. That one was, I read that and I was like,
no,
this is weird.
no, no. Okay, well, I'll read my last one. Someone said, I don't like how some fans compare groups from different generations. K-pop didn't become this big overnight. Without first gens, we wouldn't have seen second gens success. Without second gens, we wouldn't have seen third gens, and so on. I agree. Like, in general, like, K-pop would not be where it is if we had it didn't have like anything before what you all know now.
Yeah. And
And
oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say a lot of what you guys have now is thanks to the earlier generations. Like, can you imagine? I was trying to imagine the other day actually what it was like before we had V Live.
Wasn't that crazy? Wasn't BTS like who's the first?
I don't
I mean, it
know.
was a lot of the I remember watching V Live for the first time just for BTS. I think BTS was the first one where I was just like, oh, let me catch their V Live because
Yeah,
BAP they
but it
barely did that, but that was
but it was
like,
just it's just weird now. We're so used to it that I'm like, what?
oh no, not even that. Twitter,
Twitter
that was
too.
a big.
The company used to run the Twitters. Idols
Mm-hmm.
didn't have their own Twitters that they were allowed, and Instagrams. They didn't just have their own accounts that they were allowed to jump
Y'all
on.
need to be grateful. That
And
is
and
crazy.
Twitter, any interactions you wanted with your idol, you maybe got lucky that they would be on the group Twitter having a fan like interaction. Like,
Chat.
yeah, a fan chat just at that moment. Maybe you'd get lucky with that. But it's just the culture around that is so weird now because it's like, oh,
I
your
don't think it's weird. I
idols.
think it's annoying.
It is annoying, but it's weird to think how weird how people think about like, oh, like they didn't do all of this, so they're not on the same level. Well, yeah, because if you look back to 7 years ago, there was no V Live, there was no Twitter, there was no Instagram. Like
Blink
they,
paved the way. No one. No.
no
It's
one
not
paved the
one.
way.
It's never one
It's never
person. Like, you
one.
can't say one paved the way. Literally everybody. Everybody has paved the way. Like, don't know what else to tell you. Nobody paved the way. It wasn't one singular group because that's impossible. That is impossible.
I agree.
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
No,
I
I'm
agree.
saying sorry to
No, I
that
know.
person or like the people
To
that
the
think like
people think
that.
that, yeah, no. And I
Cause,
agree.
Cause it
And
just doesn't
it
make.
doesn't. And there were so many different things happening during like Big Bang and Wonder Girls peak to reach out to even get their foot in the water into the US.
Yeah,
And maybe it wasn't a huge success right then and there, but it opened the doors slowly.
exactly.
They started testing the waters, it got people interested.
And even
It's
before that,
been a process. It doesn't
hmm
just happen.
even before that, you had groups and idols or like solo artists that have paved the way or helped to get to that step that you were just talking about. Like, it has to deal with a lot of things that y'all are just acting very hard headed on.
It's gatekeeping again.
So,
We should do an
y'all don't get tired of that?
we should do an episode on gatekeeping and K-pop. We would get
It's
tired after
annoying.
we would get tired after the first 5 minutes. I don't know how you guys aren't tired of doing it.
I don't know either. And I just wish it wasn't always a certain fandom that was always brought up. Like, it's always that one fandom. And I don't want it to be that one
I
fandom.
don't either.
Like,
I
I'm
don't want it to
sure,
be any fandom.
well, yeah, but I'm sure, like, other fandoms do that. Like, it's not to say that it's just that one.
That one, but the
But,
one
like,
that we
because
see,
one where we always talk about is it's always that topic because of just how incredibly big it is now.
yeah.
Um, stop.
Stop.
Stop. Like, just
Let
be
people
happy.
be happy. Let people enjoy things. Be happy for the groups who
You
are
enjoy
making
it.
music.
Like, you enjoy the fact that they've come that far.
Yeah.
And they don't have to claim,
And
like,
just
that, at least that, like, you don't have, they, no. No.
and
No. You can brag about the awards that they've won. Like, I think that's really impressive. But don't down other
other
groups.
groups in the process, especially groups that came way before their time, a long time ago, and were first or second
See, that's
gen,
another thing
because
that really bothers
the
me.
achievements back during first and second generation were much different than the achievements now. Like there's no basis to compare them on.
Even when you compare relevant, like, current groups that have been overseas like that, where they compare that way, and I'm like, I don't think you guys understand how big the fandom, we're talking about BTS, I don't think you guys understand how big the BTS fandom is in comparison to overshadow a lot of those groups just because of how big that fandom is. Because if the fandom wasn't as large and overpowering like that, you'd have more attention, evenly, like, diverse, like, spread out. The fandom is just that big that,
It's overpowering.
at least in the States, you what if I'm comparing two groups and one is gonna garner more views than the other, which one do you think I'm gonna pick? Obviously the one that has, like, the most attention. I'm gonna feed off that as much as I can. And that's what's happening. So, like, they've made lot of accomplishments and stuff, but y'all need to calm down for some of the stuff that you say
And
because it
you
doesn't
ex-
correlate. It
you
doesn't make
explaining
sense.
you explaining that too just kind of ties into the fact that, like, for American, for example, anybody American that's choosing between two groups, for example, like you said, to who are they going to choose of which of the groups garners more views, it just also shows that some of the popularity, as it's getting so big and growing so much and becoming so overpowering, some of the popularity isn't even authentic anymore.
Mm-mm. Not at all. That's
They
how I
just
felt when it
they
first started.
know that they will bring in money, and so they'll take that money,
Yeah.
and so it's
Once,
not authentic.
yeah. I felt that way when they first, it was when they first, like, performed at an award show where I'm like, this is, I want the best. I just want the best for them. Like, thinking about, like, popularity that's that big and how I just don't I don't want idols or groups to just be money makers. And that's where I feel like is the stage that they're at right now, and I don't like it. And it's like I don't like it because I want the best for them, and they're getting the best because they're getting money. They're getting money, but I don't. it really goes back to that other tweet we talked about when it comes to the hype of a group. Where is it really genuine, or are you into it because that's all you know? Because everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
No one's paved the way. It's a group effort.
It's a group.
You
It
can't
doesn't
sing.
take one single person to
No.
build a road
Mm-mm.
or build a
No.
railroad track, for example. It takes a team, and it's been
And it's not even just
the
them.
build up of
You
many
need to give credit to us.
successes.
Second of all, you need to give credit to the fan bases. Don't just give it to the artists. Like, we did this together. We did this together. All those tweets we would always tweet about, all those Tumblr posts we would always do throughout the years, that was us. Unboxings on YouTube, like, everybody chipped in. I would only do an argument like that if it was like, who was the best K-pop group of all time? And I already know what my answer is going to be. Do you have an answer for that? Of all time? Because I feel like the answer is really easy.
Of all time?
I think, like, that's just how I feel. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know my answer.
I don't know my answer.
Well, I'll say mine. It's Shiny. It's Shiny. They're the best.
That's fair.
Like, I can confidently say, yes, it's them. Like, that's the group where if I had to be like, what, like, the best one of all time, if I was just arguing to argue.
That's fair though. I can see that, and I don't know who I would pick, but I can agree with that choice just solely for the fact that thinking about like their most recent comeback that they had as a group together,
Mm-hmm.
it's very interesting how they incorporated what's popular now with
Mm-hmm.
fourth gen groups, and they still pulled it off as a second generation group. Like
And
they can easily, they're just so well rounded, and they've been in the industry for so long that they can just easily
exactly.
tie in
And
what's popular to them.
yeah. And if you think about all those albums,
Oh
if you just think about the albums, that's really impressive.
yeah. They put out a lot.
Like, there are a lot of good albums. There's like not one album where I was just like, it was okay. I think I can say every album where I was just like, that was good. That was a good album. Even if, like, I don't know, that's just, I'm dying on that hill. If I were to ever have an argument like that, it's them. And I'm not even a diehard fan of Shiny, but I will say it's them. That's the only group I ever come back to when I think of just overall as K-pop. That's the first group I will ever think about. Come back in 10 years, see if that's the same
Let's see if that's the same thing.
thing.
Let's see if we're doing this.
I don't know. Like, that's just, I don't know. I like thinking of stuff like that. Just like of all time. Like, it's basically the same thing as, the same question as like the best pop idol in the States of all time. You know, everybody's going to say Beyonce. But that's also an argument because, I don't know, that Ariana Grande fandom. But of all time, that's a good question. Of all time, Mariah Carey, of all time, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Who else? You can't say Michael Jackson anymore. It's problematic. But that was it. That was the answer.
Yeah, that was the answer for quite a while.
But now it's kind of like, I don't know, a lot of kids don't know about him anymore. That's scary. Like, kids these days, they just don't know
Certain things.
And I'm just like, makes me want to throw up. It doesn't make me want to throw up. I'm being dramatic. Anyway, that's just a tangent. That's just what the tweet made me think about. But it just humbles you if you just remember that not one person or group paved anything. It was a collective.
It was a collective. All of the efforts and achievements just build up off of each
Mm-hmm.
other and they grow. And that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. That's all I have.
That's all I have too.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you guys agree with those tweets?
Were there some that we missed too? Because that thread got really long, and after a while, I was just like, I'm done.
I don't know. After a while, I kind of scrolled through and like looked at the ones that had more hearts
To
or
them.
likes, just to see what the majority was going
Going
towards.
towards, yeah. Tell us though too, if you listen to this episode, what your cancelable K-pop takes are.
Do you have one?
Do you have one? Do you think you have one?
Oh, I'm asking you. Like, do
Oh,
you have
me?
one? Yeah. Did you
Um,
come up with one while you were reading through the tweets?
no, not really.
I came up with one.
What's yours?
Your bias or your faves are not who you think they are.
Oh, yeah,
It's a,
that's.
it's literally their image. I only say that to like people have these ideas of because of K-pop and like idols, they have these stereotypes that they're having towards Asian people or just their bias in general, how they are. And it's just a reminder like these idols are people. And while you may think you know everything about them,
They are
you don't.
yeah, and they are marketing an image towards you, and
Yes.
they are paid to do that. I did think of one actually. Now that you say that,
Yeah.
dating scandals are not dating scandals.
Are they still that big of a deal?
Yeah, and they shouldn't be. These are people, real life people, who just happen to have extraordinary jobs. And I know the dating culture is a lot different in Korea than here in America, but it's not a scandal to love someone and date someone. Like, it's not. And you're not gonna get lucky enough to ever date your idol. So
I have an
stop.
idol. Yeah, I think about that all the time too. Like when it comes to my biases, I'm just like
Like, it's okay to think about it
my
too, and
goal
like,
is to try to get a relationship before them.
yeah, at this point, yeah.
Because if they do, I'm just like,
Oh, I'm proud of you.
bro. It's not even that. I'm like, bro, like, girl, you still single. And they married. What are you doing? Like, come on. That's me. I did come up with another one while you were saying that.
What?
I think it is really weird with some of these provocative comments that y'all send to these idols. And it needs to stop.
Oh, yeah. Or even, we were going to do an episode on this, and I still think we should, but video call culture and like making them like meow during the call.
I still don't know anything about that. Like
It's
I don't
weird.
even know.
It,
But I was just thinking about like you saying that made me think about the
the
comments. I mean,
comments.
obviously, but specifically Wonho is what I thought about.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
anytime, I don't know what channel that is on YouTube where they read the Twitter.
The thirst tweets.
Those are some of those. I'm just like, why did y'all
Why
make
did you
them
say it?
read that?
The only time it's funny is when Eric Nom does it.
Because he's from the States, so he
Yeah.
gets it.
So he gets it
But
and he like knows how to roll with it, and he does a really good job
sometimes,
of funnily shutting people down.
hmm
But that's like the only time those tweets are acceptable.
but I'm not here to say that I understand Korean culture. But I will say is that stereotypes are easily created still in some cultures. And I know they're looking at the States crazy. I don't know. Even you that it doesn't even limit to the States. Some of those comments I'm just like, that's not okay. It's not okay. Some of those comments are not okay.
Like they're really
It makes
not
me
either.
uncomfortable. They make me uncomfortable.
Yeah, and
So I
like
can't imagine.
it's a real person that you're talking to as
I
well. So
don't.
how could you
Yeah,
say that?
that's. Mm-mm.
It's
I
weird.
wouldn't. I don't like it. I don't
That
like it.
those comments
Stop.
too, it ties into video call culture as well. Some of the things that you say or ask idols to do over video
Well,
calls.
maybe we should do that.
Well, that is, but I'm just saying that also ties in like any weird comment, whether it's like an Instagram comment, a Twitter, a tweet, a video call, like a V Live comment. Just stop saying the weird stuff. This is a
Inappropriate. It's not
inappropriate.
weird. It's inappropriate. That's
Yeah,
specifically what we're
inappropriate
saying.
and weird because it's weird because it's inappropriate. Like, why would you say that to
Yeah.
somebody's face on
Would
a
you say
public
that to
platform?
you? Like to a person? Like would someone? Would you want that to be said? Like said to you if you're walking down the street and
Did you?
someone just came up to you and said that? But like, would it like just? Do y'all think like that?
Yeah.
Because I don't think you do. Because I would no. I just when you think of it that way, does that really make it okay? I bet it doesn't. Because I don't even remember what tweet I saw. Did I even retweet it? I don't even know what I did. Let me go through my likes just in case. Because it was Wanho reading off like one of those tweets. I was like, what? You answered? Like, y'all gave him that? You guys let him read that? Like, you guys picked that out and thought it was okay. It shouldn't have been okay. I would have felt very invaded by, like, I don't think I retweeted it. Thank God. No, I didn't. Because I was like, what? I was like, this really happened. And it was old, I think. And I think that was around the time where people were just like trying to gatekeep Wano and what he was posting and what people were saying to him. And that was a whole thing. That's a whole other discussion too. I feel like that goes in the fan calls. Just etiquette. Like, why even have to say etiquette? Like, that's so
Yeah. Why is
uptight.
there an etiquette?
Like, why? Yeah, like, why would I have to title how to do an etiquette of blank? Like, that
how
shouldn't be a
how
thing.
you
It
should
just should be
appropriately act.
how to how to be appropriate in general as a person. It's just crazy. Would you ask that to your coworkers that you barely know? Or would that be weird? Or if your coworker asked you something like that, would you be okay with that? No, I don't think you would. Thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you for listening. Like we said, tell us if you have any of your own cancelable K-pop takes. And
Did we read your tweet?
yeah, did we read your tweet if you're listening to this? Otherwise, just remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
And tell us who you were talking about with some of these
Yeah, if we did
tweets.
read your tweet and you hear it, tell us
I
who you
want
were
to know.
talking about. We're very curious.
I won't say it out loud. I just want to
Just
know.
DM us. Just DM us privately and tell us. So that way
I
we.
want to kiki with you.
Thank you for listening, though. Bye.
Bye.